Question 1. Read the following passage. During a routine patrol, Officer Martinez observed a vehicle traveling southbound on Elm Street with a broken taillight. The officer initiated a traffic stop near the intersection of Elm and Oak Avenues. Upon approaching the vehicle, Officer Martinez detected a strong odor of burnt cannabis emanating from the passenger compartment. The driver, identified as John Doe, appeared nervous and avoided eye contact. Further investigation led to the discovery of an open container of alcohol and a small baggie containing a leafy green substance believed to be marijuana. Based on the passage, what was the initial reason Officer Martinez initiated the traffic stop? A. The driver, John Doe, appeared nervous. B. A strong odor of burnt cannabis was detected. C. The vehicle had a broken taillight. D. An open container of alcohol was discovered. Answer: C. The vehicle had a broken taillight. The passage clearly states that Officer Martinez observed a vehicle traveling southbound on Elm Street with a broken taillight and then initiated a traffic stop. This indicates the broken taillight was the initial probable cause for the stop. Other observations, like nervousness or odors, occurred after the stop was initiated, not before. When reading for comprehension, always look for the explicit cause and effect stated in the text. Question 2. Which word is spelled correctly? A. Separate. B. Desperate. C. Definite. D. Government. Answer: B. Desperate. The correct spelling among the choices is desperate. Common spelling errors often involve transposed vowels or incorrect suffixes, and desperate is frequently misspelled as desperate. Pay close attention to the vowel sounds in words, as they often trick test takers. Remembering that the E in desperate comes before the A can help you recall its correct form. Question 3. Select the sentence that is grammatically correct. A. The evidence suggests that the suspect was there, but he denied it. B. The evidence suggests that the suspect was there, but he denies it. C. The evidence suggests that the suspect was there, but he denied it. D. The evidence suggests that the suspect was there, but he denies it. Answer: B. The evidence suggests that the suspect was there, but he denies it. This sentence correctly uses subject-verb agreement for both clauses. Evidence is a singular subject, so it takes the singular verb suggests, not suggest. Similarly, he is a singular subject, requiring the singular verb denies, not deny. Always ensure that the verb in a sentence matches its subject in number, whether singular or plural. This rule is fundamental to clear and professional written communication in police reports. Question 4. An officer observed a person acting erratically and mumbling incoherently on a public street. The person was also wearing clothes that were noticeably soiled and torn. What is the most appropriate initial action for the officer to take? A. Immediately arrest the person for public intoxication. B. Order the person to leave the area immediately. C. Approach cautiously and attempt to engage the person in conversation to assess their well-being. D. Call for backup and wait for additional officers to arrive before taking any action. Answer: C. Approach cautiously and attempt to engage the person in conversation to assess their well-being. The most appropriate initial action in this scenario is to approach cautiously and try to talk to the person. This allows the officer to gather more information, assess if the person poses a danger to themselves or others, and determine if they are experiencing a medical or mental health crisis rather than simply being intoxicated. Acting cautiously ensures officer safety while attempting to de-escalate the situation and understand the underlying issues. Remember that not all unusual behavior is criminal. Sometimes it indicates a need for help. Question 5. In a police report, which of the following best describes the purpose of including specific details about the time and location of an incident? A. To impress supervisors with thoroughness. B. To ensure the report meets minimum length requirements. C. To provide verifiable facts that support the incident's narrative and aid in future investigations. D. To allow officers to recall their shift activities more easily. Answer: C. To provide verifiable facts that support the incident's narrative and aid in future investigations. Including specific details like time and location in a police report is crucial for establishing the factual basis of the incident. These verifiable facts provide a clear chronological and geographical context, making the report accurate, credible, and useful for follow-up investigations, court proceedings, or future reference. Precision in reporting key details helps maintain the integrity of the information and ensures it can be cross-referenced or corroborated. Think of these details as the anchors of your report, holding the narrative firmly in place. Question 6. Which of the following words is a synonym for concur? A. Disagree. B. Oppose. C. Agree. D. Decline. Answer: C. Agree. The word concur means to agree or to happen at the same time. In the context of opinions or decisions, if you concur with someone, you agree with them. Understanding synonyms is important for vocabulary on the exam, as it helps you grasp the nuances of words commonly used in official documents and communications. Knowing that concur means to agree can help you interpret directives or discussions accurately. Question 7. A witness describes a suspect as having protruding ears. What does protruding mean in this context? A. Small and close to the head. B. Large and flat. C. Sticking out noticeably. D. Hidden by hair. Answer: C. Sticking out noticeably. In this context, protruding means sticking out noticeably from the head. This adjective describes a physical characteristic that could help identify a suspect, making it an important detail for a witness to provide. Being able to correctly interpret descriptive words used by witnesses is vital for creating accurate suspect descriptions and for effective communication in law enforcement. Focus on the core meaning of the word rather than making assumptions. Question 8. What is the most appropriate way to document a victim's statement in a police report? A. Summarize the statement in your own words, omitting any emotional language. B. Quote the victim directly using quotation marks, capturing their exact words as much as possible. C. Only include parts of the statement that you believe are relevant to the crime. D. Paraphrase the statement, adding your own interpretations of what the victim meant. Answer: B. Quote the victim directly using quotation marks, capturing their exact words as much as possible. When documenting a victim's statement, it is best practice to quote them directly using quotation marks. This ensures accuracy and avoids misinterpretation, preserving the victim's precise words, which can be critical for legal proceedings. While you may need to summarize long narratives for conciseness, specific, impactful statements should be quoted verbatim to maintain objectivity and provide an unadulterated account. Direct quotes provide the most credible and unbiased representation of what was said. Question 9. Select the sentence with the correct punctuation. A. The officer, responding to the call, arrived at 10:30 p.m. B. The officer responding to the call arrived at 10:30 p.m. C. The officer, responding to the call arrived at 10:30 p.m. D. The officer responding to the call, arrived at 10:30 p.m. Answer: A. The officer, responding to the call, arrived at 10:30 p.m. This sentence correctly uses commas to set off the non-essential phrase, responding to the call. This phrase provides additional information about the officer but is not necessary for the main meaning of the sentence, the officer arrived at 10:30 p.m. When a phrase can be removed without changing the fundamental meaning of the sentence, it is typically set off by commas. Proper punctuation ensures clarity and readability in official documents. Question 10. A suspect states, "I didn't do it, but I know who did." The officer should interpret this statement as: A clear denial of involvement, requiring no further questioning. B. An admission of guilt by association. C. A potential lead or attempt to deflect blame, requiring follow-up questions. D. A definitive declaration of innocence. Answer: C. A potential lead or attempt to deflect blame, requiring follow-up questions. This statement, while containing a denial, also offers new information, "I know who did," that warrants further investigation. It could be an attempt by the suspect to shift blame, or it could be a legitimate lead about another individual. Officers should always pursue any information that could assist an investigation, even if it comes from a suspect denying their own involvement. Critical thinking involves recognizing when a statement opens new avenues for inquiry. Question 11. Which word means, to make less severe, serious, or painful? A. Exacerbate. B. Ameliorate. C. Instigate. D. Perpetuate. Answer: B. Ameliorate. The word ameliorate means to make something better or less severe, serious, or painful. This term is often used in situations where conditions are improved or suffering is reduced. Understanding words like ameliorate is crucial for comprehension in various professional contexts, including incident reports or discussions about policy. Contrast it with exacerbate, which means to make something worse, to help solidify your understanding. Question 12. Read the following policy. Officers are required to wear their ballistic vests at all times when on duty, except when engaged in administrative tasks within a secure police facility or when explicitly authorized by a commanding officer due to extreme environmental conditions. Under which circumstance is an officer permitted to not wear their ballistic vest? A. When eating lunch at a local restaurant while on duty. B. While conducting a traffic stop on a busy highway. C. During a training exercise at an unsecured outdoor range. D. When completing paperwork in the police station's administrative office. Answer: D. When completing paperwork in the police station's administrative office. The policy states that officers are required to wear their ballistic vests at all times, except when engaged in administrative tasks within a secure police facility. Completing paperwork in the police station's administrative office falls directly under this exception. This type of question tests your ability to read regulations carefully and identify specific conditions or exceptions. Always look for keywords that define the boundaries of a rule. Question 13. Which of the following is an example of objective language in a police report? A. The suspect appeared very shifty and probably guilty. B. The victim seemed distraught and likely fabricating the story. C. The suspect, John Doe, was observed running from the scene. D. It was clear that the driver was intentionally trying to evade me. Answer: C. The suspect, John Doe, was observed running from the scene. Objective language relies on factual observations rather than personal opinions, assumptions, or judgments. Stating that the suspect, John Doe, was observed running from the scene is an objective statement because it reports a direct observation of an action. Phrases like appeared very shifty, seemed distraught, or it was clear introduce subjective interpretations that should be avoided in official reports. Focus on what you saw, heard, or smelled, not what you thought it meant. Question 14. Which word is spelled correctly? A. Occurred. B. Received. C. Accommodate. D. Definitely. Answer: C. Accommodate. The correct spelling is accommodate, which features double C and double M. This word is frequently misspelled due to confusion over the number of consonants. Mastering common difficult spellings is essential for professional written communication, as errors can undermine the credibility of official documents. A good way to remember accommodate is to think of it as having enough room for 2 C's and 2 M's. Question 15. An officer is compiling a report on a stolen vehicle. Which piece of information would be most crucial to include for identifying the vehicle? A. The vehicle's color and make. B. The vehicle's vehicle identification number, VIN. C. The estimated value of the vehicle. D. The owner's preferred driving routes. Answer: B. The vehicle's vehicle identification number, VIN. The vehicle identification number, VIN, is the most crucial piece of information for identifying a stolen vehicle because it is a unique, alphanumeric code specific to that single vehicle, much like a fingerprint. While color and make are helpful, many vehicles share these characteristics. The VIN provides an unambiguous identifier that is essential for tracking, recovery, and legal purposes. Always prioritize unique identifiers in your reports. Question 16. Select the sentence that is grammatically correct. A. Neither the officers nor the sergeant were aware of the new protocol. B. Neither the officers nor the sergeant was aware of the new protocol. C. Neither the officer nor the sergeants was aware of the new protocol. D. Neither the officer nor the sergeants were aware of the new protocol. Answer: B. Neither the officers nor the sergeant was aware of the new protocol. When using neither, nor, the verb agrees with the subject closest to it. In this sentence, the subject closest to the verb was/were, is, the sergeant, which is singular. Therefore, the singular verb was, is correct. This is a common rule for subject-verb agreement that can be tricky, so remember to look at the subject immediately preceding the verb. Question 17. The term, probable cause, in law enforcement refers to A. A mere hunch or suspicion an officer has about criminal activity. B. Enough evidence for a reasonable person to believe that a crime has been committed or is about to be committed. C. The certainty that a suspect is guilty before an arrest is made. D. Any evidence that is later proven in court to be true. Answer: B. Enough evidence for a reasonable person to believe that a crime has been committed or is about to be committed. Probable cause is a foundational legal standard in law enforcement, meaning there are sufficient facts or circumstances that would lead a reasonable and prudent person to believe that a crime has occurred or is occurring, or that evidence of a crime exists in a particular place. It is a higher standard than mere suspicion but lower than the certainty required for conviction. Understanding this concept is critical for lawful arrests, searches, and seizures. Always think in terms of what a reasonable person would conclude based on the available information. Question 18. If a police report states that an individual eluded officers, what does that mean? A. The individual cooperated fully with the officers. B. The individual was apprehended quickly by the officers. C. The individual successfully escaped or avoided the officers. D. The individual ignored the officer's presence. Answer: C. The individual successfully escaped or avoided the officers. To elude means to skillfully escape from or avoid someone or something. In the context of law enforcement, it typically refers to a suspect attempting to flee or evade capture by officers. This term is often used in traffic stops where a driver fails to yield and attempts to get away. Understanding such verbs is essential for accurate comprehension of police reports and legal documents. Question 19. An officer observes a vehicle parked illegally, blocking a fire hydrant. The officer should A. Immediately call for a tow truck without further action. B. Issue a citation for the parking violation. C. Wait for the driver to return and explain the violation. D. Ignore the violation if there is no fire actively burning. Answer: B. Issue a citation for the parking violation. Parking in front of a fire hydrant is a direct violation of traffic laws because it could impede emergency services during a fire. The most appropriate action is to issue a citation for the parking violation, as this enforces the law and deters future infractions. Law enforcement officers are responsible for enforcing all laws, not just those related to active emergencies. Taking prompt, appropriate action ensures public safety and compliance with regulations. Question 20. Which of the following is the best way to maintain professional communication during a high-stress situation with a member of the public? A. Speak loudly and rapidly to assert authority. B. Use slang and informal language to appear relatable. C. Maintain a calm, clear, and assertive tone of voice. D. Threaten immediate arrest to gain compliance. Answer: C. Maintain a calm, clear, and assertive tone of voice. In high-stress situations, maintaining a calm, clear, and assertive tone of voice is crucial for effective communication. A calm demeanor can help de-escalate tension, while clear and assertive communication ensures your instructions are understood and respected. This approach projects professionalism and control, which can encourage cooperation from the public, even under duress. Your voice is a powerful tool for conveying authority and reassurance simultaneously. Question 21. Which word best completes the following sentence? The new policy will have a significant on departmental procedures. A. Effect. B. Effect. C. Affection. D. Affecting. Answer: B. Effect. The word effect is correctly used here as a noun, meaning the result or outcome of an action. The sentence describes the new policy having a significant result on procedures. Affect is typically a verb, meaning to influence, although it can be a noun in specific psychological contexts. Remember that effect, noun, is the consequence, while effect, verb, is the action of influencing. Question 22. Read the following paragraph. After securing the perimeter, officers entered the building through the west entrance. The building was dark, so Officer Chen activated her tactical flashlight. She systematically cleared each room on the first floor. Upon entering what appeared to be an office, she noticed a flickering light in the corner. Approaching cautiously, she discovered a small, unattended candle burning on a cluttered desk. What was the first action Officer Chen took upon entering the building? A. Systematically cleared each room. B. Approached a flickering light. C. Activated her tactical flashlight. D. Discovered a small, unattended candle. Answer: C. Activated her tactical flashlight. The passage states, the building was dark, so Officer Chen activated her tactical flashlight. This action occurred immediately after entering the dark building and before she began systematically clearing rooms or discovering the candle. Reading comprehension questions often require you to identify the sequence of events. Pay attention to transition words and the order in which actions are described. Question 23. A police officer should primarily base their actions on A. Personal feelings and biases. B. Public opinion and media reports. C. Laws, departmental policies, and ethical standards. D. What is easiest or most convenient in the moment. Answer: C. Laws, departmental policies, and ethical standards. Police officers are bound by their oath to uphold the law. Therefore, their actions must primarily be based on established laws, the specific departmental policies that govern their conduct, and a strong foundation of ethical standards. These three pillars ensure that officers act consistently, fairly, and within their legal authority, maintaining public trust and accountability. Professionalism demands adherence to these guiding principles, not personal whims or external pressures. Question 24. Which sentence contains a common usage error? A. He reported the incident to his supervisor, who then reviewed the details. B. The team completed their investigation thoroughly. C. It's important to document all evidence properly. D. They will pursue the lead, regardless of the difficulty. Answer: C. It's important to document all evidence properly. The sentence, "It's important to document all evidence properly," contains a common usage error. Its is a possessive pronoun, e.g., the dog wagged its tail, while its is a contraction for it is. The correct phrasing should be, it's important to document all evidence properly. Distinguishing between its and its is a frequent test of grammar and clarity. Question 25. What is the main purpose of effective communication in law enforcement? A. To entertain the public and media. B. To ensure clear understanding, gain cooperation, and maintain safety. C. To demonstrate an officer's intellectual superiority. D. To strictly adhere to legal jargon in all interactions. Answer: B. To ensure clear understanding, gain cooperation, and maintain safety. The main purpose of effective communication in law enforcement is multifaceted. It ensures clear understanding between officers and the public, fosters cooperation during investigations or incidents, and ultimately contributes to the safety of all parties involved. Clear communication prevents misunderstandings, de-escalates situations, and allows for efficient and safe resolution of events. Your ability to communicate effectively is a cornerstone of being a successful officer.